everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We have a very special summer sports night for everyone tonight.
Yeah, a lot of new changes in the Coon Rapids sports programs, a number of new coaches taking over programs, and tonight we're going to try and introduce you to a couple of them. We start with new football coach Nick Russin. And Nick, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
First question is, give us just a little bit about your background.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming over from Blaine High School, I spent the last 6 seasons as a varsity assistant over there in the offensive side of the football. Learned a lot of great, valuable lessons. It's a great program. Ended up playing at St. John's for a couple years as well, so that's some great experience, a great program up there too. And I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited for the next chapter of my life. Coming over to the Coon Rapids side, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great season.
You were introduced to the community, I don't know, about a month ago, I think it was, where you met with the parents and you met with the students. Talk a little bit about that introduction for you, and also where you've come through to now in terms of how you see the football program.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's something where I wanted to meet as many people as possible. For me, it was very important to get a chance to get to know the players, to stand up in front of parents, boosters, the community in general, just to express my vision of the program. For me, I'm someone who prides themselves on building men. We want these players to come in and learn great life lessons. For us, we're going to stress academics. That's something where I think any high school student needs to do. Get it done in the classroom first. We want to be respectful. This is something where Coon Rapids is a great community. It takes great pride in its high school programs and its sports, and we want to just treat people the right way. I think that's just something where you look at I think kind of the world. I know that's maybe a big, a big stage, but I think we just need good people, and that's what our young men are going to do. We're going to treat our teachers, our community, their parents with respect. I think that's something that, again, we just need to do, and we want to have fun. I think you play a sport, you coach a sport because you love it. And so for me coming in here, I know there's going to be challenges. I know it's an uphill battle a little bit, but it's one that I'm really looking forward to. I've really enjoyed the young men that I've gotten to know so far. It's a great group. They work hard. They push each other. I think we got some great leaders in this program too, where we can take steps in the right direction to turn this thing around.
Now, the football program was able to drop down to the 5A level a couple years ago, found a little bit more success than they had in previous years. What do you do to continue that and build on what they were able to accomplish over the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, for sure. The 5A level is still competitive football. I know that's one where, again, you have a lot of great teams, and we open up with St. Thomas Academy, who was in the Prep Bowl last year. So that's a great opponent for us to start the season. But for me, I just want to be me, and I just want our football team to be really us. And how do we do that? It's kind of what I just talked a little bit about, of getting it done in the classroom, being respectful. But if we want to get to where we want to get, it also takes a lot of hard work. We're at the high school, 4 days a week in the weight room. We're on the track. We do passing leagues. We do practices, on Wednesdays. So it's just a day-by-day commitment. It's something where football is a numbers game. Again, I like the team that we have right now, but like any other sport, you need numbers. And I think that's something where we just have to create excitement. We have to create a buzz, a culture that people want to be a part of. And I think high school students in the past have maybe kind of shied a little bit from that, understanding there has been some turnover in the program. You just want to create stability. You want to create, again, a culture where these high school, athletes just want to be a part of. They want to be part of something where, they are successful at. And so it is a great challenge. It is something where, again, it's going to take all hands on deck, all coaches, again, our community, our school to take pride in, to ultimately get to where we want to be as a football program.
You mentioned the challenges, and obviously outside of depth, what are some of those challenges you see in this football program, especially on the field?
Yeah, again, I think it does start with numbers. You need depth. We want to play a type of football that is, up-tempo. We want to put stress on defenses from an offensive standpoint, where we stretch the field, horizontally, as well as kind of taking shots vertically. If you want to play up-tempo, you got to be in shape. So that does take, again, conditioning a little bit, but it does fall a little bit a part of the, if you don't have those numbers to kind of support that and to have that depth, that is a challenge. And I just kind of think that's the #1 goal for me, is to try to reach out to as many players as possible to see if they want to be part of something. And I know we have a staff that's willing to work very hard. It's a staff that we met with that takes pride in who we are, that loves Coon Rapids, that really wants what's best for these young men. So those numbers, it is a challenging thing, and but we're going to go with the group we have, and we're going to fight every game.
Well, I think you touched on it a little bit, and this is trying to narrow it down, but you talked about the turnover, and there have been, you become the fourth coach in 4 years, but you also talked about the depth and finding the more of the athletes, and I think that's been something that a number of previous coaches have struggled with. They're not always getting all those best athletes in the school to come out and play. What do you do? What has to change in order to have, as you talked about, more excitement and kids want to be a part of that program?
For sure. That is a challenge. But I think for me, it really just starts with recruiting. It's calling kids. It's trying to meet with kids to really share what my vision, kind of what my goals are in this program. You just have to reach out to them. And you would hate for a kid to step away from a sport that hopefully they love just because of maybe a past experience. That's something where, again, and you have a lot of coaches coming in probably preaching the same things, and these kids are constantly getting this turnover saying, well, here we go again, here's another coach. But hopefully for me, I just want to reach out, call them, meet with them face to face, just to really share what my visions are, and hopefully it matches up. I can't promise, wins or losses. I can't promise we're going to go 8-0, but I can promise them that it's going to be a culture that's going to be fun to be a part of. It's going to be one where I think our group of boys are going to come together. I think it is a close-knit group. We're going to work hard. We're going to push each other. And hopefully that's something where they want to be a part of. If you don't like football, you don't like football. It is not for everyone, but obviously I'm a little biased and think it's the best sport in the world. So, that's just also the help with the assistant coaches as well.
Well, expand on that, because let's talk a little bit about your staff. Obviously, staff is very important. Did you keep is there some coaches that you kept from the previous regime? And talk a little bit about the coaches you brought in and how they mesh with your program.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, that was kind of my first thing I wanted to do, was start to get our staff finalized. We do have some guys keeping on staff. Mike Weber is going to be our defensive coordinator. Russ Sullivan's back. James Taylor, JT, is going to be our 9th grade head coach. Chad Miller was a coach last year. He's going to coordinate our 9th grade defense. Nick Plankers, linebackers. Jacob Metzger, outside linebackers. And then I did bring some personal guys over as well. A couple Blaine guys who I know very well, who I think come from a good program, who's been very successful over the last couple years. Some younger guys a little bit as well, which I think are just going to bring some excitement, just bring a different perspective. It is not too long ago where I had some pads on myself, so I feel like I can relate to these young boys and young men a little bit about what that experience is like. And I do think we have a staff who, again, loves Coon Rapids, who's going to work hard. That was kind of one of my first things, is talk about the stress and lifestyle of a football coach at the varsity level, because we understand that success doesn't just happen. It is something that we have to earn, and we have to show our boys that, as a staff, that we're willing to put that work in. We can't just preach and say all these things to them and expect them to do it if we're not doing it ourselves. So I think the coaches are on board. I think they believe in what my visions are, what my goals are. I think we do have a great mix of veteran coaches as well as younger guys who can bring that excitement into the program.
Now, you talked a little bit about playing your style, stretching the field horizontally, as well as taking shots down the field. What kind of differences will we see from the way this team plays?
This is going to be a team, I think, that plays pretty simple. And when you play simple, you play fast. For me, a big thing coming from a spread system, you get a lot of similar concepts from probably last year's team and ultimately other teams that run the spread. But for what we're going to do really is we want to stretch a team horizontally. And what that means is to make simple reads for our quarterback. Get the ball out of his hands quick. I feel that we have a lot of playmakers on this team that If we get the ball to them in open space, let them do the work. Then ultimately, as teams start to creep up, and hopefully as we kind of spread our bubble series around a little bit and start running the football, that is something that even though we are a spread, we do want to establish the run first. That is something that's very important to do, because when you get to that third, fourth quarter, you got to be able to run the football. And then ultimately, once teams kind of start creeping down, I think we got a couple plays that can make them pay a little bit. So I'm excited for what we have as some concepts from the offensive style. And then from a defensive point of view, I think we got some guys who can cover. So it's going to allow us to put some more pressure on offenses, on quarterbacks to make tough throws. Because I think we got some guys in that secondary who can cover. So it's always a plus. But play simple, play fast, and have some fun for sure.
Well, we are just as excited to have you and be as close to football season as we are. We look forward to working with you throughout the season. Congratulations, and thanks for being here with us today.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it so much. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, gentlemen.
We're going to take a short break. We will be right back with new head girls soccer coach John Karen right after this.
Getting back to it, Holland comes in and two-handed jab.
Want to know the who, what, when, and where of Coon Rapids? Then just follow CTN on social media. It's that simple. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Keep up with local news, sports, and events, and the people who make our community such a great place to live. So give us a follow, like, share, or subscribe, and always be the first to know what's up in Coon Rapids. That's CTN, helping you stay connected.
Welcome back to a Summer Sports Night special along with Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Young. Got a chance to meet new head Cardinal football coach Nick Russin, and really excited to see what he's able to do with that program.
Yeah, he's a young guy, and he's like he mentioned, he's not that far removed from having the pads on, so he can relate to these young men really well. I'm excited. Obviously, he had a lot of good things to say, and football starts really soon, and we'll talk about that as the season goes.
Well, we're also excited to have with us this evening the new girls soccer head coach John Karen. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
First of all, most guys when their kids graduate high school, they're done with high school sports. What made you want to say, you know what, I wasn't involved enough, now I want to take over the program?
I think it was when my wife said, you need to get a hobby, you need to do something. So, no, in all seriousness, it was a good transition for me to get involved again, just to do something extra to keep myself busy, and then really get into a program and get it up and running again.
Well, it's not like you're unfamiliar with this program, quite obviously. Talk a little bit about how you see this program going into the fall.
Well, just like Coach Russin said, numbers, it's a big thing, and so we really need to build up our numbers. We've got a great group of returning people coming back. I'm excited about that, and the summer stuff that we're doing right now has got a lot of excitement. I'm excited about it. It seems like the girls are excited. They're coming there early in the morning, so they're waking up to get teenagers out there on the field kicking a ball around early in the morning. It's a great thing, so I think we're going in the right direction right now.
Well, we talk about it a lot, tradition. And tradition is so important in so many aspects of high school sports. Now, for years and years, the girls' soccer team had one of the best traditions of success here at Coon Rapids. Over the last few years, the program hasn't been quite as successful. What do you have to do in order to build that back up?
They just have to get excited, I think, about the sport. I want them to come there because they're excited to put on the Coon Rapids uniform and get out there and kick a ball around and let's play. I think that's first and foremost, is just getting excited to play for your school. And then I think it just builds from there, and that excitement gets from there. And with the history of the program, we need to get some alumni back out there, even probably get out Coach DeJoy, maybe have a bobblehead night and see what we can do, and just get some excitement back in that program. So I think but I think we're moving in the right direction.
We've been trying to have a Joe Young bobblehead night for years, so maybe hopefully you'll get to do that. Talk about the differences and what you bring in past Cardinals coaches. What are we going to see that's a little different out on the pitch?
It's just more of what we're working on right now is just as we get our teams going, then we figure out, all right, who do we have and what kind of attack can we go with? Are we going to have a counter attack? Are we going to be a transition game? Are we going to be an attacking team? And so it's more of who we get together on that varsity field at that time, and then we just build from there. And I'm really super excited about the kids that we've got coming back and the ones that I've seen so far.
So I've got to ask, because as a parent myself, I'm dying to know. I have coached my son here and there throughout his youth, and I'm assuming you coached Maddie maybe a little bit. What are her thoughts on you taking over the program the year after she graduated?
I'm assuming that she's happy for me, and I think she's happy as well that I'm taking over after she is gone. She's a great kid. I love her to death. But I think it's good to have them get away from the parents.
Oh yeah,
they need their own space, and so I think she would agree with that.
Obviously you know some of the girls who are coming back. Talk about a little bit some of the girls who are new to the program and some of the things that you've seen so far. It's summer, it's early, but some of those things that are positive for you.
Again, the girls coming out in the morning, that commitment, that's exciting. That's what gets me out there, that they're willing to come out. We've got great numbers in the summer so far. The ones that are returning, they're coming back out in the morning, so I think that's a great thing, and we've got a good balance of the younger kids coming out as well. And I've been going out to watch some soccer games in the summer too, just so I get my face out there to say, hey, come on over, let's play. Come on out for the team, and let's play for the high school.
Now, a big part of it, we talk about they were one of the top teams in the conference year after year, and then things kind of dropped off. A lot of that has to do with, again, the numbers that the other schools are able to put forth and the quality of programs that you play night in and night out. What did you see as a spectator and a parent that maybe might help you find a way to counter their stronger numbers, their maybe more experience and depth?
Really, we're just trying to build. Same thing in the classroom when I teach is that you got to have ownership, and so the girls really need to buy into what we're doing. Coach Russin had said that it's just he's putting in that work and that time and effort as well, and so hopefully they're seeing that from me is that I'm out there early, I'm getting everything prepared, we're talking, we're getting to know each other, and then we can keep moving on. So once we build that respect and that communication style, then we can get that game, and so they have ownership over the game, and I think once we see that ownership, they're going to get comfortable with each other, and then we're going to start seeing some really great things.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you, please.
Talk a little bit about, one of the things I feel in terms of soccer, goaltending is very important. Talk about your situation for coming up the year in terms of your goaltending and where you see yourself and where you see your squad.
Well, we've got some options at goaltending, and goaltending, it's always tough. It's a very lonely position. Yep. They're either great when they do great things, and then if something doesn't go as well, and so it's a hard spot to play in, to be honest. But we've got some great people that are coming in, and so I look forward to working with them once they get out onto the field.
Well, you talk about taking ownership, and I think that's huge. For a number of sports at Coon Rapids, we have seen over the years where when they get down a couple early, they just, there have been teams that have just been known to just kind of mail it in. What do you do? And I think that's a big part of it, is taking ownership, making them compete, making them believe in themselves. But what do you have something in mind at this time for what you tell the girls when they give up a couple early and start to get down on themselves to try and keep them invigorated and keep them in the game?
Well, we're not going to get down early.
I love that confidence.
That's a great answer.
Perfect.
If that does happen, it's just, again, it happens. We'd love to win every game. We'd love to, win 3-4-0 every game. But reality, is that going to happen? Probably not. So it's part of the game, and it's part of that process of, yep, we might lose, but once you step off that field, can you say, I gave 100% effort? Not just I gave 100% effort. It's you truly believe it. Why did you give that effort? So explain to me back. And so it's more of taking, again, that ownership of these are going to happen. We're going to come across some really great teams. We've got some great teams that we're going to play this season. So they need to just really own up to it, and we have to figure it out, and we fix it, and we move on.
Expanding a little bit on that, when you decided to take the job, what was your thoughts in terms of what the identity of this team will be? When you look back at after your first season, what did you think that you wanted to accomplish, and what you wanted to identify as common goals for this squad?
Common goals, it's tough because we want to have our team goals, but in all honesty, at the end of the season, when they step off the field for the last time, if they're seniors or if they're stepping off for the last time for the season, can they come back and say, I gave it my all? This was worth it. And most importantly, did they have fun? It has to be fun. It's a game. They started out this game with their shin pads over their socks. Ball was bigger than their legs, and they're just chasing around. Some people are just kind of off in La La Land, but they had a love and a passion for the game. And that's what I want to see by the time that the season is done.
I think that is a perfect way to end this interview, John. I really appreciate you coming here. Congratulations on the
Thank you.
position. We look forward to working with you throughout the season and beyond.
As do I.
But that is going to do it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us. Continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying good night.